What's up, gaming prigs?
Today we're going to talk about our favorite generation, the 6th generation of consoles.
Generation that brought us into real online gaming. 4 came in, only 3 left.
Do you guys know who left?
Do you? Okay, so the 6th generation started in 1998 in Japan, and later in 1999 in North America. The Sega Dreamcast. Well, this is the Sega Sports Edition, so, this came later. It was originally white, but I kind of want to keep the black theme. What are some of your memories on this fine system?
I think in the earlier video we mentioned, when my dad took me to Toys R Us and checked out the kiosk, I was really blown away by Sonic Adventure. So he went ahead and pre-ordered it for me. I didn't own a lot of games for the Dreamcast, but definitely a lot of good memories. My cousin Rebel, he always came over on every Wednesdays or so after school. We just played some games.
Thanks, man.
Show me the games he got. Let me borrow some games. But definitely Soul Calibur, Sonic Adventure, the NFL and NBA 2K games. I spent just countless days and hours, playing with my friends and my older brother. Definitely some really awesome memories with the Dreamcast, and I'll never forget. So, how about you, Rebel? What are your memories of Dreamcast?
My memories started when this guy got one on launch day.
That's right.
And I came over and I was just watching Sonic Adventure, Ready to Rumble, Soul Calibur. You didn't have Chris Taxi, but I see Chris Taxi. It was just amazing. Even the sports games were amazing. I don't like sports, but dang, dude. Yeah, it was just honestly, I felt magic in the system. Every game I saw just blew me away, and I had to get one. So I eventually saved up, got one, and to this day, I still think about it daily.
Yeah.
I still collect for it daily.
He dreams about it.
I dream about it, man.
It's thinking. This is definitely the system that made me fall in love with my hobby of gaming. I felt more passionate towards it. That's when I started reading more gaming magazines about Shenmue coming out, seeing what it was going to do on the Dreamcast. And I just fed off that energy too with my cousin and how he loved video games. And this one started it all for me, for sure.
Well, I have zero nostalgia for it, but I love the shooters on the system. I haven't played a whole lot of games on it, but the shooters I have played, especially Bang.io, super fun. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have one growing up. My parents stopped buying me systems after the Nintendo 64, and I actually hadn't even seen one in person until probably 4 years ago.
How many of these things sold?
Like millions,
yeah. So it wasn't super popular, but
it was popular amongst people who had it.
Yes, that's why it lives on. That's why it still lives on today. People still make games for it.
Yeah. People still make games on it. Pure Solar is one of the latest RPGs that came on there.
There's a lot. There's Kickstarters to this day where there's more Dreamcast games being developed.
So the community's definitely still alive with this system.
In the year 2000, the day all Sega fans dreaded was the launch of the PS2. It's a bittersweet intro to this. It's we knew it was going to come and pretty much destroy us, but it was a necessary evil. But yeah, I hated that first too, but over time the games came, and Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts, God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. So pretty much it justified its existence. This guy didn't like it.
No, yeah, for me, I was just dreading the release of it. I was I love my Dreamcast so much, I didn't want it to fail. And so for the longest time, I blamed the PlayStation 2 for the death of the Dreamcast. Which I know isn't the main cause of it, but I think it's still one of the factors. It wasn't until more recently until I actually appreciated what the PS2 did with such of those great games like Final Fantasy X. I'm actually finally playing now, my Vita, and I'm still playing that now. And definitely some great games came out of it, but I accept it now.
I had a PlayStation 2 growing up, sort of. Like I said, my parents stopped buying a system, so me and my brother saved up for it, but we actually ended up buying one eventually, and we had very few games for it. The one game I loved, which it's not a great game, is Onimusha Blade Warriors. I just played that game for hours and hours, just beating level after level. Awesome system. I missed out on greatness of it. I still appreciate it.
Definitely an awesome system because it sold 150 million.
Greatest selling system of all time.
Yeah. And then it had, the first system to be with DVD, right? So like and one of the cheapest DVD players too. So that had it going for it. Like Sony went in on it on DVD, and that pretty much set the standard for movies and for gaming too.
Yeah, you played, PS1 games on it, DVDs,
right.
like the ultimate multimedia system.
First system to offer backward compatibility too, right?
Sort of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's ways of like playing like your Game Boy on the Super Nintendo with the Super Game Boy. But
native compatibility,
yes.
Only officially died a couple years ago. Had his last game made, so it survived the decade. Good job, Sony. You did it.
They did it. These two are a little older, right? I feel like these two are a little towards the end of that generation.
Another year after this came out, we had the Xbox from Microsoft.
Behemoth.
Can't even lift it.
It's so heavy.
This is the Xbox guy, so tell me about this, man.
Alright, so yeah, was it in, I think, the late 90s, Microsoft did work with Sega, with Dreamcast. There is some Windows CE compatibility operating system with Dreamcast. And I think they saw the Dreamcast going, or Sega at least, kind of leaving that hardware business. So they wanted to step in and put in their DirectX 9, I think, API, their graphics API they work on computers. And they wanted to put their own machine in there. Kind of like a way, like a Trojan horse of getting Windows into everyone's living homes and stuff. Well, at least that was the pitch they gave to Bill Gates. But that's why you get this pretty much off-the-shelf PC parts, Pentium 3 processor, GeForce 3 graphics card, yeah. Play DVDs too, like the PlayStation 2 did. The games on that too, but you needed a separate dongle to play your DVD movies.
But it did have a hard drive.
Yeah, so standard hard drive. At that time too, came with a built-in broadband adapter out the gate, which a year later after it came out, it launched their service Xbox Live. So they had some really great foundations, but Microsoft did sink in billions of dollars into
they lost so much
Xbox,
money.
yeah. So I think it wasn't until midway through the Xbox 360's life cycle that they actually started making revenue. I remember for this system for sure. I remember talking to my brother Jerry, and he was telling me how he played it at our other brother's house, playing Halo, and how amazing it looked, how realistic it was at the time, like grenades. I hadn't really seen nothing about it, so I said, screw it, let's go all in for Christmas and let's get an Xbox. And then I remember getting our Xbox around the holidays, and just me and my brother playing Halo co-op, and we're so close to beating it all in one day. I was like, whoa, we need to slow down. I'm not trying to beat this game in one day, but that's when I became more of an Xbox kind of guy, and to this day too. But I just love how huge this is.
Bulky it is.
I know, for something that's power.
Similar to the Dreamcast. He got it first, and I saw him play Halo.
Whenever you saw someone buy an Xbox, 90% of the time, someone's walking out of Halo, right?
That's the reason I
Yeah.
bought my Xbox was to play Halo. Everyone talked about it at school, Halo this. I had no idea what it was. I didn't have an Xbox. I actually didn't buy one for a couple of years till after it was out. But everyone was going to everyone's house to play Halo. It was the greatest thing in the world. I was missing out. Eventually, I figured it out and realized what the hype was about, and it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, the Halo was truly the best game that they could possibly have. Pretty much, it saved Xbox.
And that's when Microsoft had bought Bungie. Angered a lot of Apple fans, right? Because Bungie was always with Apple first and all that stuff.
Not only was it an amazing game that spawned so many sequels, the graphics were amazing. Dead or Alive 3 was amazing. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. And for the most part, a lot of the third-party games look better on Xbox than I did PS2 or GameCube. And so I always tended to get the Xbox version. Exclusive is kind of why I would play PS2 over GameCube. But Xbox Live, this system pretty much revolutionized online gaming. The headset, the ease of use.
Yeah. If you look at how we play multiplayer games now with matchmaking, that all goes to how Bungie did Halo 2 when they designed that matchmaking service kind of thing. And so I think a lot of things, when you think about a lot of online functionality we take for granted now, is probably from Xbox Live from the first generation, or in its first generation.
One of my favorite games of all time are on Xbox, and so I'll always cherish this box because of that. Speaking of Xbox collecting, this guy right here, tell us about your Xboxes and your Xbox experience.
I'll save that for a future video as far as going over all of them individually, but probably my favorite console of all time, just the fact that for the online service itself, like I made friends through online that I still talk to this day. We're friends on Facebook. It's just crazy. Like you were able to make those connections through an online service.
Yeah.
It's someone you'll probably never meet, but it was just awesome that was a capability. I started collecting Xboxes. I have this one. I have a debug one, which is a green. There's a Halo edition one that's green also, see-through. I have a white EA Xbox that
Stockton.
a super rare EA edition white Xbox, which there's not a whole lot of information on. From what I can tell, it seems like there's around 50, but I tried to email EA and they won't message me back.
It was definitely an awesome find.
What are some of your favorite games for this, Bob?
Again, I was buying my own stuff at the time and I didn't have a job, so I was just saving up like Christmas money, birthday money. So like I bought, I want to say less than 10 games for this system. That's mainly because of Halo 2. When that came out, that's all I played. I didn't care to buy another game. That's just what I was doing. I came home from school, I played Halo 2. A ton of fun, hundreds of hours poured into the system. Right?
I would imagine thousands.
Probably tens of
I know I've
thousands.
put thousands. I know you have to.
Yeah. It actually came out a couple weeks later. Was the
This
Nintendo
lunchbox.
Oh,
GameCube. Yeah, it's kind of weird, like, since it came so close that, you had some friends who bought Xbox and some friends who bought GameCube. But yeah, I was on Team Xbox. I didn't actually get a GameCube right away. It wasn't until Resident Evil 4 came out that I bought it. I freaking loved it, and I played, the Resident Evil remake, Zero. Then I started playing Twin Snakes, Mario Sunshine. There's a lot of good games for that, man. It could compete graphically with Xbox. I think it's a great system. It's definitely, I think, the underdog this generation. Apart from Sega, it kind of lost compared to, especially Sony and Xbox. But especially for like Nintendo, like an established video game maker, to kind of like get jacked from like a newcomer, Microsoft coming into market.
And of course, Sony like just dominating the market.
Sony was just chilling though, like.
Okay.
I'm just selling units left and right. Selling like hotcakes. Yeah, it's a good system. I'm still looking for some component cables for it. One day I'll find it at Goodwill. I think I'm the only one who really had special memories with it.
No, I never owned a GameCube. I had friends. You, of course, had a GameCube. I always made fun of my friends just because it's purple.
Yeah, that's purple right there.
Launch version. That's the cool one, right?
That's black.
But I was like, man, you got a GameCube? But it was until like later on, like I was a fanboy for sure. I try not to be as much as a fanboy as I was back then. But my friends had GameCubes and I made fun of them. Yeah, carry on a lunchbox. Even though I wish the Xbox had a handle because we're always carrying it to LAN parties.
It'll break the
And
handle.
this thing is freaking like 8 pounds. Breakaway cables. No more consoles falling on the ground when someone chips over the cable when you're playing a game.
But GameCube had Wavebird. No cable.
They set the standard for
That was
the
the
first
standard.
party controller with a wireless setup, and that was until like the 360 and PS.
What's your favorite console out of these four?
Because of the Dreamcast is why I really got into gaming, why I started following it so closely. It's a console that when I fell in love with gaming, and then of course there's Xbox.
Okay, what about third place?
I'm not sure.
Well, you're playing games off.
Yeah, I'm playing some PS2 games now, so I guess it would be PS2. Not too far behind would be the GameCube, just because I admired the games they had. Mario Sunshine, Wind Waker, Smash Brothers, like, there's some awesome games on the GameCube, and I wish at that time my parents could just buy me all the consoles, but that was a part of my life where I started buying my own stuff too. So, what's your favorite console, Rebel?
I think my order is pretty much the same.
The release date.
Well, yeah, this. I would say Xbox second, and then PS2, and then GameCube. But there are.
Yeah, I think it's hard to.
It's like having four different friends. We all love.
Yeah, they're them all equally, but like you have to pick some of your friends.
No, I have some better friends. Some other friends. I'm kidding.
No, okay, dang.
Yeah, this is my best friend. Second best friend. Acquaintance. Dreamcast to this day still it's what I still collect for, and I still kind of like just reminisce the most on this system because the games are very memorable. And I'm like, remember when we used to play Shenmue? Or, I want to play Shenmue again. Like we always talk about playing Dreamcast again.
Yeah.
I think what you do.
I think for myself, Xbox for sure. Probably still number one. Probably the PS2. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 for myself.
And you probably think we're hating on the GameCube, but we're not. Oh man.
So in the comments, let us know what were your favorite parts of this generation. What your console was, your favorite memory, and favorite game.
Subscribe and like, comment.
Bye.